Welcome, and in this week's lab we are going to be talking about the reaction rates of iodine. Now, I like to think of this lab as kind of like baking. When you change the temperature of what you're baking and you change the ingredients of what you're baking, you get different results. And that's what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be giving you a couple of different ingredients, and you are going to be changing the amount of those ingredients, and you're going to be changing the temperature of those ingredients, and you're going to be taking a look at how the time that it takes for the reaction to complete changes as you change those variables. So when they say baking is just like chemistry, or chemistry is just like baking, now you're going to see why. Now, once again, I have been super busy. And so once again, I am throwing Devin and Patricia under the bus and making them do the experiment for me. So let's pop over to Devin and Patricia.
It'd also be fun if you said something about the fact that, like, if two film majors can do it, then so can you.
Okay, fine. So I, once again, have been super busy. And I didn't have time to film the experiment. So I'm throwing Devin and Patricia under the bus, and they're my work studies. I made them do it. Now, if two film majors can do it, you guys can do it. And I'm not putting down film majors. They told me to say that. So over to Devin and Patricia.
Hey guys, welcome to today's lab. Today we are doing chemical kinetics analysis of the iodination of acetone.
And before we get started, please make sure to put on your safety wear. Great, let's get started. So first we're going to grab two test tubes and fill them 3/4 of the way with distilled water. Make sure they're at the same height. Now we're going to take the two test tubes and hold them right above a white piece of paper and just double check and make sure that the colors look exactly the same.
You're then going to want to grab about 40 milliliters of your acetone mixture, your hydrochloric acid, and your iodine. Now, the acetone mixture may vary depending on the year. I do change it depending on the strength of the other solutions. So it may be 8 molar or 4 molar or whatever. You are then, you're going to put them in a beaker and bring those back to your desk. Cover them in parafilm, keep everything separate. So we then want to make a blank. This is what you're going to be using to compare all of your other reactions to. So our first blank we are going to do at room temperature using 4 milliliters of acetone, 4 milliliters of hydrochloric acid, 8 milliliters of water, and 4 milliliters of iodine. And again, this one's at room temperature. And we're going to be using a pipetter. Now, these pipetters, you want to be a little careful when you're using. When you push them in, don't push them in too hard. You can break off the tips of those pipettes. So just, be careful when you're using them. If you have questions on how to use them, just ask your TA. So, and then you roll up with your thumb to suck it up if you haven't used them before. So you're going to mix everything but the iodine up in your beaker and then pour it into the test tube. And the last thing that you're going to add is the iodine. And you're going to pour that in to initiate the whole process. Now, I want to put this on a little loop right here just because I want to point out one thing. Notice how we have all of our solutions laid out very neatly, and we are using one pipette for each beaker. That's actually really important. You don't want to contaminate your solutions here. If there's any contamination of the solutions, the whole experiment can get ruined. So you want to be very careful not to contaminate your solutions. So, okay, I will unfreeze time here and unloop things. I just wanted to point that out real quick. And as soon as you add that iodine, be ready with your timer, because there it goes. And we're off. So once you've added the iodine, for this blank, you're going to let it run for 5 minutes. because we want to be absolutely sure that the entire reaction is completely blank and completely reacted. And luckily, through the magic of editing, look how fast we can make it go. And we're done. So now we are on to the next step. And what is that step, you might be asking? We are going to do that exact same reaction with the exact same amounts again, but we want to know how long it actually takes to do it. So, but we need to be able to compare it with that control that we just did. So we need to have done that before. So we're going to do it again. So again, mix everything together, add that iodine, be ready to hit it. As soon as that iodine touches, start your clock and be ready to record exactly how long it takes to do it. Now, every batch that I make is different, so you have to be ready to record exactly how long it took. So now you need to do it one more time and just verify that it's within 10% of the amount. If it's not, you have to do it again. So then we're going to start playing with the amount of acetone and the amount of hydrochloric acid and the amount of iodine in the different mixtures. See how that changes the time inside that it takes to run the experiment. And I am going to blur the actual times here. Just, you know, I don't want to make it too easy for you guys. Boy, ain't I a stinker? Now in this final part, what we're going to do is you're going to take whatever solution took the longest time to run, and it's important you take the longest time, and then you're going to go over to the water bath, and it's set to a warmer temperature than room temperature, and you're going to recreate the experiment that is set that took the longest, and you are going to grab your exact same pipettes and take the solutions directly from the water bath. Now, when Devin and Patricia were taking the solutions out of here, they did make a little mistake with the pipette that I did notice when I was editing this together. When transporting the pipette, you do not turn the pipette upside down. Look at that right there. Don't do that. You want to make sure that the tip of that pipette is always down when you are carrying it. Just a little mistake I noticed, but don't worry about it. So anyway, as soon as that iodine hits the rest of the solutions, hit start on the timer, and that is it. You're done.